Episode 31 coming at you from the Affluent Person's Trap House.
True,
Greg,
true.
episode 31.
Thought about this one actually.
Here comes
Just earlier, and I didn't think about it anymore, and I'm going to drop
be
it on
ready.
you. Benny and Conway and West Side Gun.
All right.
Griselda Records, bitch.
Oh, here we go. What one? I don't know that. Did you say Kanye West?
No, Conway.
Conway. Like Conway Twitty? Oh, I remember him from when I was a kid.
No, Conway the Machine, fam. Benny the Butcher.
Oh, did he take his name from Conway Twitty?
I doubt it,
Okay.
but I do remember Conway Twitty because
See?
I do have
See?
my grandmother hails from Ohio to West Virginia to Orlando, Florida. Trust me,
Wing ding ding a ling a ding ding ding.
bro. My great grandma was playing Lawrence Welk. My grandma and great grandma were always watching Hee Haw. The 8-track player with the Oak Ridge Boys and Dolly Parton in the Buick. I mean,
God, with
I got those country roots, unfortunately.
See? I love that
They're there.
that you get the see. I don't know Conway. What'd you call him? Conway what?
Conway the Machine.
Oh, okay.
It's a rap group, Griselda Records.
Never-
Well, it's a label, really. It's that grimy shit. They're bringing that 90s grimy ass drug and,
Now I gotta listen
drug
to
and
it.
gun rap back.
Now I got to listen to it.
I'll send you some links.
Okay.
It's,
You gotta-
it's my favorite shit right
You're
now.
gonna have to put me on game on that one.
I didn't find
don't
out
know.
about them till end of 2018. I'd heard of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was
Okay,
like,
so it's not like something from like
bro,
'96.
but they've been rapping since like I think they kind of started in 2011 or somewhere around there. And anyways, I heard about them like in 2018. I can't remember from what. And then they ended up signing to Shady Records, I think, last year. And then now, they're also under what's Jay-Z's company called? Rock Nation. Yeah, under Rock Nation Management.
Is that management or is that tour?
managed?
Oh, okay.
So they're signed to Shady, managed by Rock Nation. They're killing it, bro.
I like it.
I'm gonna send you one album in particular. I like
Good. I want to listen to it. I'd
Benny
like
the Butcher,
to
Tana-
broaden my horizons.
Tana Talk 3. It's my favorite right now, and has been my favorite for almost the last year.
Fantastic.
Well, here we are.
We are here.
I'm gonna tackle the first one
Let's get at it.
for you. You put the note, but I want to tackle it.
Good.
I'm gonna tackle it. It's gonna be.
I'm a block. You can tackle.
just. That's kind of Yep. Almost. See, I'm 2020, Greg. We gotta be namaste in this bitch. Okay. Yeah. Shout outs to Elemental Beverage Company for just giving us some love on our episode 30, where we featured their product. You know, it was a sixer of their snap chilled coffee, and they had some really nice things to say. I want to thank them for reaching out and for reposting and for even suggesting that people listen to this mess that we
This
put out every week.
amazing podcast that is influential, that is hard hitting news, drama, coffee source.
100%. People, I mean, you know, phone blown up per usual.
Oh my God. Did you get some calls?
No, it's just creditors and shit like that. Really,
It's just the Pearl up in Seattle. Yo, I like the episode.
What did? Oh, he did mention something.
See, I knew it.
What did he
That
mention?
guy's like, he should get a t-shirt. If we, the minute we do merch, he should get the first t-shirt. He should get the first
for
t-shirt,
sure.
and we should both sign it.
I
I would love it. I would love it if he walked around Seattle, be like, "Oh, what's that?" He goes, "Oh, see, that's George, and that's Greg."
Could you imagine signing? People, what the fuck? They'd send it back. Hey, there's something on my shirt. Can you give me a clean
It won't
one?
come out either. I think it's
Oh my
Sharpie.
god!
I was like, "Well, you know, you're welcome."
But I want to cut the Elemental Bev short because I think we're going to be doing some things later
I think
with
so.
them, and I don't want to put it out there yet.
Okay, good.
So, but
Good.
thank you.
Yes,
Right, George?
absolutely. I think it was an amazing gesture.
That's the thing.
And you know, just to listen and I mean, obviously we tagged him on the gram, but it's going through the process of looking at our post and then listening to the podcast.
They actually listened to the podcast.
Right, because they knew that you received the wrong thing.
Yes.
And I thought that was super cool. I just thought that was
Well, you know, I didn't receive the wrong thing. I ordered the wrong thing. It was me. It was on me. I fucked up somehow when
I was trying to
when I
make
bought
it easier on you.
I think the biggest reason why I appreciate just them is, like you said, they actually listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Which that's awesome. And I love it. And you know, I'm not really starved for attention or recognition. I kind of shook all that in my 20s, but it's nice. It's just nice to kind of get that, you know, somebody to reach out to you. And if anybody knows, I'm just going to say this. I thought their Snap Chilled coffee was amazing. And if anybody's listened to this podcast for anything more than just 3 episodes, you know, we tell it like it is when we sample drinks here on the show.
Yeah.
And of course, everything is subjective. Everybody has different tastes. Everybody likes different types of things. There's been a couple of coffees on here where, you know, maybe George hasn't liked it as much or I haven't liked it as much. And there's ones we've absolutely just not liked at all. So, you know, we give real reviews. Their product is legit. I'm going to keep it on the radar for everybody here rolling into summer, because that's when it's going to be obviously more appreciated, especially by us in the desert here.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's it for that. I don't want to drag that out too much
No, that was
longer.
great. Really happy with that. Last week was CES 2020.
This is George's bread and
Greg,
butter, everybody.
Gregor, I wish you could have gone. I know you're busy in the lab
Yeah.
with the pen and the pad.
You know, listen, I'm being pulled in a million different directions, George, so I have to let you do what you got to do sometimes.
So, me and the Woo went to CES. We went to...
Oh, that's right. You did go with Wu-Tang.
We did.
Okay.
We went to North Hall. We went to Central Hall. And we went to South Hall.
Listen, if you didn't go to South Hall, I don't want to hear about it.
The only thing I semi-regret is not going to the Sands, because the Sands has a wide variety of home automation, which is like, if I could pick a nerd mecca, it is home
That's
automation.
you? That's what you like?
I love it.
This is true.
You've been
unfortunately.
You were at my house for Christmas.
This dude's Christmas Eve party looked like a goddamn 60s disco, and I don't even know if disco was around in the 60s.
So I do like, and I won't say the trigger words for Siri, but I do like that I can tell her, yo, do this, turn this on, turn this off, and it happens.
Gotcha.
With the updates to the at the HomePod, you know, it recognizes other voices now.
Okay.
When it first came out, it did not. It only recognized mine.
Just you, because you're the one that.
Yeah, and then they did some update. I think it was AirPlay 2. I think when AirPlay 2 dropped, I think it got some more. It got some more functionality. But anyway, I love home automation.
I was thinking TP2. Damn it.
We don't mention he's canceled.
I know he is canceled. But anyways, keep going.
So no, walking around the show, a lot of cool things. I did get to see the Mercedes Avatar car.
Okay, saw that.
I didn't put it on the Just a Drip Instagram, because it's not really coffee.
It's off brand.
It is off brand.
It is off.
I did put a robotic arm, and it's in my notes to talk about here. LG makes a robotic arm called Chloe.
Why are you making the Thanos fist right now when you're talking about the robotic arm?
Because it's an arm.
Okay.
And you can connect different pieces to it. So you can connect a kettle, and the arm will actually do the pour over function. It wasn't turned on while I was there.
All right.
But they showed really cool looking drip machines. You probably know the name of them, because I don't think LG didn't create these crafts, these glass crafts, but it was like cool. It was like if you go to our Instagram, if you go to CES for Just a Drip, I believe it's on there. If not, I'll make one and put it on there. But yeah, it had the pour over piece, and I wish I could have had full video of the arm in motion. But there's a picture of it on our Instagram.
So why didn't you get full video? Just out of cool.
Because it wasn't moving. The arm wasn't doing anything. It was just kind of.
I do have to say something real quick. When I was, kind of going through news articles last night before I fell asleep quickly, I came across an article, and it just stood out because of you posting this robotic arm. It was talking about up in Silicon Valley, up in San Fran, there was a pizza shop and 3 coffee shops that shut down that had automated robotic workers that make the pizza and make the coffee.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think basically the kind of the meat and potatoes of the article was that it just seemed like what people want from robots at this time is to do industrial stuff, warehouse,
not people work,
but not food. Like food needs to, some reason, I think people are looking for food to have more of a personal touch when it's prepared.
Yeah.
So
I hate to admit this, but I have been to a McDonald's in the last 6 months.
Okay.
And they have giant portrait mounted TVs, touchscreen TVs.
I've seen those
for ordering. And you could still go to the counter and order if you want, but you can order from the thing. My last trip to California, we stopped there early in the morning.
Right.
I think it's Searchlight.
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
So stopped in there. Anyway, they did get our order wrong. One of the orders was completely gone. Like, of course, we get the bag. We're inside. I'm not to the drive-thru. We're inside. The lady brings it out. We get, I don't know why we didn't check, but we get in the car, we drive away, and sure enough, an entire order, wifey's order was gone. So we ended up
that makes it twice as bad.
Trust me. I wanted to call back, but then I'm thinking like, who gives a shit? Like they didn't even F me in the drive-thru. They just
they F'd you in
the McDonald's. So you know what? It's probably a good thing that we didn't consume it.
I mean, ultimately, it probably is good. But you know, man, me and wifey I don't remember last time I had McDonald's. I would estimate it was sometime around 2003, maybe 2004. That's a lie. I probably had some fries from somebody at work once.
Yeah,
you know, and then in maybe 2012ish. But I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, it's okay.
Good. Nobody cared. Nobody wanted to
you
hear
don't want McDonald's.
We were reminiscing on apple pies from McDonald's as a kid. As a kid,
I loved them.
That's what I haven't had one since I was a kid, so I don't know.
Maybe 12 years old.
As a kid, them shits was unbelievable.
Oh my god, I was a fat ass kid.
You
definitely.
I think I was fatter than you though.
You're possible.
I think I was.
You probably were. I'm going to give you the crown for that one.
Yeah, I'm fat than
you can have it.
I mean, sorry, 2020.
Yeah,
I was more full bodied than you were.
No, we're not young. We're not young fat shaming.
You're not hanging me on the cross this year, George. It's not going to happen.
I won't do it. You sacrifice. So yeah, we got the robotic arm. There are pictures on our Instagram for It's Just the Drip. I guess I should have posted that to Twitter. We're getting into that, being social thing.
Yeah.
Couple other cool things. Sony, I think we talked about last episode. Love the Sony cameras. I do have. Oh, I'm flexing, but I do have a Sony A7R2.
Flexing as usual.
And
I don't even know what those numbers mean. A7R2.
R9 million. I don't know what it means either, but that's what version I have.
Do you ever wonder about how they do these numberings on some of these things?
I don't know. I know Canon's trying to jump in the boat because they've got a Canon R. So
they're probably mad because they're losing traction to Sony right now.
I think both of them are because now at CES and look,
you say both. Who's the other one? Nikon. Okay.
Nikon and Canon own the space for a long, long time.
Got it.
And Nikon now has their mirrorless. Canon and Nikon took forever to drop their mirrorless version, and Sony just swooped in and had like 3 different versions of their cameras. They're different in their own respect, but they're all mirrorless.
Okay.
Like I want to say they're 3 versions. They're S, they're R, and something else. But anyway, their consumer based product is the A7R, and then now they have the A7 without the R. It's like a A7 III or A7 II. I don't know the difference between these things. I just know that they're mirrorless cameras, and they were first to market, and they killed it. Like the quality's really, really good.
Okay.
Now Canon dropped their R, I want to say early last year. It might even have been CES last year. I don't remember. But it took a long time for creatives to like adopt it.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then, go through that. Now
creatives, we love that generic term.
But it's
so generic.
It is generic.
It's applied
photo
weakly.
creatives. And it's crazy. I actually made this comment to a friend of mine. And I asked him, I said, is Canon paying, like Peter McKinnon is a huge YouTuber.
Peter McKinnon.
He's to use the term creative, but he started his YouTube channel, and he is a videographer, he's a photographer, he does all these kinds of things. I don't know if he did weddings or whatever, how he got started, but now he's a full-time YouTuber, but photographer, videographer, but YouTube is his platform to get his stuff out.
Gotcha.
And he started really boasting about the R and how it's his, how it's his daily. I think he said it's his daily vlog camera or something along those lines. And he kind of panned it at first, and then all of a sudden, now he's hyping it up again. And I'm thinking, what happened? How did that come to pass? And so part of me was thinking, maybe Canon like threw the bag out and like, can you please? And then of course in his last episode, he's promoting, because when he first got started, he recorded all of his stuff on a 1DX Mark 1 or 2 or whatever it is.
Okay.
It's Canon's massive pro body.
Gotcha.
It's a massive, massive body. And he just went and did I want to say the Mark 3. It like hasn't come to market yet. And it's, he didn't do the video quality or anything else, but he like showed the body and showed the mechanics of it, the menus and everything else. And so it made me wonder if they didn't reach out to him and say, hey,
because they're already supplying him pre-market.
And he's not product. The only one. If you look,
of course,
if you watch his one video talking about that camera, YouTube's algorithm then starts feeding you reviews. So they're seeding people, these YouTubers, to get that product, to build awareness, because they know people's eyeballs are all over YouTube.
Of course.
And it's cool. And then it's also like, man, is that, a little bit of money? Maybe you could.
It's what it is, though.
When we start paying all these YouTubers to start talking about Just a Drip.
Oh, please.
We
don't got to pay them. They're just going to talk about it anyways.
Probably. So yeah, they love Sony, and at the Sony booth, which I think Sony is going to wait for a later show, probably WPPI, to drop the big
WPPI stands
wedding
for.
Photographers, wedding pro photographers
invitational,
something like that. I just know
Industry.
it's a huge camera show.
Yeah, you can't be dropping these initialized.
Well, our 9 million listeners, at least a quarter of them know exactly what I'm talking about. There were no consumer cameras at the Sony booth this year for CES.
There were no consumer cameras at Sony's Consumer Electronics Show booth.
Correct.
Maybe they're changing it to commercial electronics.
They should because
in terms of how they feel then.
So every year, and I don't even think they had it this year. Every year that I can remember, Sony had like a professional cleaners. And I know this sounds crazy, but you could take whatever Sony camera you had, and you could take it in there, and they would clean it for free as long as you got in the queue early enough.
Right.
They would clean your sensor and all this stuff. That wasn't even there. All they had were TVs. They had a big Ghostbusters.
I saw that on your feed, of course.
They had the Ghostbuster car in there because
why?
And here's why.
They shot video for the movie.
I think they may have used Sony commercial brand video cameras to shoot it. I think
that makes sense.
That for a fact.
That makes sense.
But that's the only cameras they had on the show floor were Sony professional grade. And look, I didn't even look at the price, but I can tell you, I can't afford. I can't afford, and I would not buy cameras like this. They look like the old school ones that fit on your shoulder.
They're that big, huh?
They're that big, but they're digital. So I thought
what's got to be packed into that gigantic body has got to be insane.
Ridiculous amounts of processing power to do probably shoots in 8K.
I'm sure
something along those lines. Probably shoots in 57K.
Something like those Reds.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's probably comparable maybe to the price. I don't know, but it'll shoot high. But I was shocked. This is the first year I've been going to CES every year for the last 8 or 9 years, and this is the first time, at least I can remember, where Sony got into the camera game where they didn't have cameras at their booth for
That's interesting, especially considering the big push they're making into the commercial market right now.
And their booth is
not push, but the big like a rejuvenated spike fit, right? Renaissance of sorts.
Sony, Canon, and Nikon are in the same hall every year. Sony's booth is right next to Canon's booth every year. It's the same. That you pass through Canon, and there's Sony tucked in the corner. Right. Sony has the whole corner locked up. So they had some home automation stuff. They had giant TVs, which I don't know. You can't really touch Samsung in the TV market. But
see, that's this is how I know I'm old. Like, I don't care about giant TVs. I don't care about home automation. I don't Siri's disabled on my phone.
Is it really?
I don't use Alexa or any of that stuff.
Oh, see, I won't.
Yeah, I just don't. All that stuff for me is just I don't. Maybe I just don't do enough shit. I don't know what it is. I think I'm just a little too simple. I'm a bit analog in a lot of things. I think as much as I'm involved in web design and digital marketing at times.
I love new techie stuff. That's why when I heard,
I like it. It's not for me.
I know we're going to talk about 0.6 going to Japan, but his trip, and I know he saw a lot of cool stuff.
I'm sure he did.
I would have spent hours, days going through tech shops, looking at like what's over there that I can't get over here. But anyway, back to a couple more things I want to mention.
Underwear and beer in vending machines. Yeah. That's what's over there.
Sony launched a prototype of a car. And
saw that.
And it's called the Vision S.
Yeah.
It is a badass looking car.
Of course it is.
Look, the Tesla S looks, this Vision S is a sport version. I think that's what the S is referring to. 460, was it 0 to 60 and 4.6? I believe it had a 200-mile range.
Hold on.
These are prototypes. Prototype speeds. Go ahead.
Okay. Usually the prototype speeds are always a bit more.
And it's not because Tesla already smokes 4.6.
That's what I'm saying. They're usually a bit more. They usually make them.
If they would have said like 2.7, it would have been like no way.
Exactly.
But it boasts. There's very minimal details they gave. Like it does have, what do you call it? Motors at all four wheels.
Right. That's like I saw.
All that
so
stuff.
Here's my problem with concept cars. I mean, obviously they look amazing. But when's the last time you saw an amazing concept car that was released the way it looks? And now I'm not talking about Tesla, because Tesla, you don't see, they don't put out, when they put out they basically put out like something that's 98% complete.
That Cybertruck is ugly as fuck.
Well, I'm not talking about, that's not what I'm saying now. What I'm saying is when Tesla goes, hey, check this out, this car we're going to bring. Like, for example, the Roadster that's coming up, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure the production model is going to be 90 to 95%.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's going to be pretty dead on to what that looked like. They didn't give you something that's glow in the dark with the glowing wheels and
an unrealistic version of a car that nobody's ever going to own.
The concept thing always exhausts me because I remember being a kid and going, oh my God, look at what Toyota's putting out. And then, like the RAV4 maybe, just as an example. And then 4 years later, you're like, this doesn't look like that concept at all.
Yeah.
Is it just for hype? Is it just for people to go?
Yes.
To all of a sudden hang on to the brand for some reason?
What I don't understand is exactly what you just said, is if you're going to put out a car, if Sony's going to go through the process of building this car and
spending millions to do that,
this concept car definitely costs a lot of money.
Millions, bro.
Because you got research and development just to start, just to get the frame of the car.
Yes.
But if you're going to go through this process, you're going to actually mold the car. You're going to build a prototype. You're going to put wheels on it. You're going to do all this stuff. Why would you benchmark it at a weaker, not even like match Tesla? So you're telling me that you already have...
Don't give me a 4.6.
You have an inferior powertrain to not generate even numbers close to Tesla.
Right.
But, just going through all that stuff, it just didn't make any sense to me.
Just like T-Money said, right? When we were talking, he's all, he's like, oh, wow. He's like, wow, they are announcing an electric car. Congratulations, Tesla did that 10 years ago. And you're...
And it, you know what? It's completely valid.
It is.
It is completely valid. But I was shocked to see that. But anyway, the car itself is
beautiful.
Is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It is a very good looking car. It's sporty as shit. If I had to pick what it looks like, it's like a cross between what's the longer Panamera? Is it Panamera?
Yeah, Panamera.
The Panamera and like a Nissan 240Z.
Gotcha.
It has that. It has, but it looks very fast, even though it's not comparable to other cars in its market. And but it is a beautiful looking car. If that car comes out at $35K,
that electric Porsche that's out right now is pretty badass.
I didn't know they had an electric Porsche.
Yeah, I posted it a couple weeks ago.
I don't read.
There's an electric Porsche that's coming out, basically going to be like the Model S, kind of competition. It's ridiculously expensive though.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
It costs like twice as much as a Model S.
Of course it does.
But motherfucker's bad.
But
that car is awesome. You got to stop my cousin.
Last episode we talked about like, okay, what's CES really going to come up with? There's only so much more you can do in TVs, and I can tell you right now, nothing new came out on TVs.
Right.
All the TVs were 8K. The models, the roll up. I think it's LG's booth. It was the same tuck away roll up model TV that they had last year. It's the same display.
Remember this when phones would be at
Right.
CES.
Yeah, it's its own.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is such an important product that every phone manufacturer has their own special event specifically for the phones. That's a crazy thing to think about because, again, I always say this to my kids. I was like, yeah, back when I was your age, the only thing you could do with the phone was call somebody.
Yeah. It wasn't even texting.
No.
Yeah. It was
texting was the most amazing thing I ever saw.
Yeah.
And you had to go, you went to type a T. You had a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Was it T9? I think it was called T9.
It was something. Yeah. You had to always, multiple taps per button to make a word.
But I would say that the takeaway from CES this year is the electronic cars. Mercedes has one, what is it? The Mach-E from Ford, which is the Mustang, which is not even on my radar. I wouldn't buy a gas Mustang, let alone
I wouldn't buy a Mustang.
E-Mustang. Audi has something called e-tron.
Yes.
Which is pretty good. It's Audi makes beautiful cars, but again, when you talk about Audi, I think that's going to be priced out of most people's range.
I mean, there's affordable Audis out there, but yeah, when you're going e-tron and you're going high, you're going with those higher models.
Like the was it i8, BMW's i8?
Yes.
That is not for the average consumer.
It's not. I'd rather have okay, I'm done. This isn't a car. This isn't a car podcast.
No, it's not. But it's
I can sit here all day and talk about. Well, I'd rather have this car. But yeah, I can't afford either of them shit. So what am I talking about?
I did come across a booth. It was called Hobot. That's the name. What I don't think they
HO.
So
Hobot. It's from China, right?
It is. It is. They don't do any research on American translation.
Yeah, the American market.
But it was a window washing robot. It created a suction to the window.
Pretty awesome.
It actually had a built-in reservoir of Windex or whatever they spray.
Solution, yeah.
And it sat there and cleaned the whole damn window. So, window washers, I would be careful. You might be out of a job soon.
Like if you have a house that's 2 stories, you still got to get that thing up to the 2nd story.
Right, but
it's got to be a giant single pane because it doesn't go over.
Correct. No, it doesn't. It stays on the single pane. But here's the thing: if you're cleaning your house and you have big windows, you can just sit there. You can put it on a window.
Yeah, throw that
let it sit.
Let
it sit for like 10 minutes,
yep.
And it'll wash the whole window. But think about outdoor. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty lazy, but you can go clean some more stuff inside. Anyway, it was really cool. The window was crystal clear. Like it worked really well.
Did they have like a 3-year-old eat some snacks and then go touch the window and then have a dog outside? Okay, then I would have been impressed.
They didn't. That would have been a lot better. They had we record all the video on the podcast that's soon to come out. Really, really, really soon. I hope. They have a competitor.
May.
So now you've got GoPro. I think GoPro is on Hero 8 now. You've got the Osmo Action, which is a direct competitor to the GoPro, and now you have Insta360's 1R, which is a modular style. I don't even know what you call this market, but GoPro market. But it's got when I say it's modular, it's got a bottom battery, it's got multiple camera functions, and then it's also got so they're in cubes, and then the battery connects everything on the bottom. But you've got a cube that is a rear display. So like kind of on the back of the GoPros now you can see it. With this device, I can turn it so that I can see myself, kind of like the Osmo Action. Which
Gotcha.
A lot of people are saying that's why Osmo Action is like the greatest, is because you can see for selfie mode,
Mm-hmm.
you can see yourself in the frame. You can also see yourself on the back, but you can also see yourself on the front.
Right.
They also have their what brought Insta360 claim to fame is their 360 personal camera, so you can swing it around and do all this stuff, and you get a full 360 view of everything around you.
Okay.
And then the software actually takes the selfie stick or the cord out of it.
Right.
So it's just your hand.
Yeah.
It shows your hand, which it's
I know.
a goofy
I've
look.
seen that shit. Yeah.
But I thought this was it's pretty creative. The way they made it modular, and you can snap and piece together. They also have a Leica 1-inch lens that you could put on the camera itself. That's probably just makes it more expensive. I don't know why they would do, other than just to get that brand recognition with their product.
Probably,
There's really I don't see any reason to get that. But I'm telling you, it's an awesome show to go to.
It is a fun show.
Yeah.
I every time, I mean, I've been to CES maybe 3 times. I went, the last time was the time I went with you.
This year,
still have a picture by that, like, was it like a 38-inch rim or
yeah.
something?
Oh my God, that
Remember
was
that?
the last time.
That was the last time I went to CES.
You sure it wasn't SEMA?
Oh, it was SEMA. It
Yeah,
was
it's
SEMA.
SEMA.
You're right. It wasn't even CES. That was SEMA. You're right. That's
For those out there that don't know, if you go to CES's website, I want to say in July or August, they do offer free badging. You have to get it way early.
Right.
So this in 2020, I'll shoot you a link once I get mine, and I'll send it over.
Yeah, fuck it, I'll go.
And I'll invite you over. Oh, you're going.
That way I can relate.
You finna go.
Okay, I got to ask you about the last item in just the CES podcast notes here.
Yep.
The flying cars that obviously Hyundai and Uber are supposedly teaming up on. Yeah, whatever.
It's, in my opinion, way safer than any helicopter out there.
Okay, but how is it in your opinion? Have you been in one yet?
I've been in that one. I haven't flown in it.
Okay, there we go. So that's my point. So this
Here's
shit
why-
is sitting inside of the hall. Were they giving people rides anywhere? In the
Oh no,
quadcopter?
it was stationary.
All right, then I don't want
Here's-
to talk about it.
here's
Again,
why-
here we go with concept.
Here's why, and I have no basis to back this up at all. I have, again, flex. I have 2 drones. When you fire them
You
up,
got 2.
I got
drones.
Drones. Shout out Kevin Gates. So when you put these drones up in the air, the Phantom or the Mavic, you don't have to touch it. It just hovers.
Okay.
And I've logged a good amount of fly time on both of them.
Okay.
And knock on wood,
You're-
one of the motors have not gone out.
It's spinning now.
But I think it's pretty incredible. And then I don't even, if one motor does go out, could the other 3
I don't know.
support it?
I
have
don't
no
know how
idea.
the stabilizers would work and all that.
All I will say is they're very easy to fly and almost idiot proof.
Okay.
I mean,
but we're talking about 2 different things here, right?
well, yeah, I'm not physically in one of these.
Right.
So that's the biggest difference.
The
I'm not
weight,
in it.
the weight alone, obviously.
These things are huge.
Yeah, they are. They
They're
are gigantic.
massive.
And there's like a dual rotor on each arm of the quad. Because I saw it. There's like 2 propellers.
That was the Hyundai one is different. The Bell
Was that
version,
the Bell one that I saw then?
the Bell one is probably the one you're talking about.
Okay.
The Bell one resembles closer to what a DJI drone looks like.
Okay.
The Hyundai version actually has spinning propellers without
So-
the protective.
Let's get away from what they look like.
Okay.
Let's get into how would this work? And what I mean by this, when I say like they talk about like Uber and is partnering with them and things like that, right? These things can't be just flying wherever they want to go in the city.
It would be
There's gonna have to be designated drop-off zones. And
no, it would be
pickups.
in line right with what there's really no helicopter market other than tours in Vegas.
the Grand Canyon and
But-
then the Strip.
Right,
Yeah.
but in New York, I'm pretty sure the big dogs, like the
Right.
millionaires stuff, when they need to get from their house in Jersey or wherever.
Or like I said about Earl when he was off the coast of Italy, he said he saw the Fertitas helicopter go
Yeah.
from their support boat to the yacht
Okay.
and back.
Yeah.
This,
That's different. Now, this is some ball and shit. Like if you have the money for a helicopter, I'm going to assume this is probably 3 times the price of a regular helicopter.
probably.
I mean, this is good for
No,
people
it
that
probably
want to
is.
own their own helicopters because I think the price is going to drop once, the big dog jet type people get a hold
Right.
of this product. But it's a cool looking thing, man.
So you mentioned New York, right?
Yeah.
Now that's great. But again, we talk about a regular city. There's not a lot of helicopter pads aside from hospitals or obviously the casinos. The big dog casinos are going to have them. But like, I can't take the quadcopter from like, is Southwest Summerlin going to create a stand in line quadcopter station where I wait for a quad, and for 2 hours for a quadcopter to pick me up and give me a 4-minute ride across town?
No, but you and I aren't going to be in that market for that.
No, what I'm saying is, like I said, Uber teamed up
Yeah.
with them, allegedly. I don't know if this is all marketing. So what I'm saying is, if I want to get across town in 5 minutes and spend $100 to do that,
Mm-hmm.
how long is that wait going to be?
Depends on who has $100 for that.
And
flight.
where's it going to be at? Do I have to get a ride to the nearest quadcopter station to then hop You see what I'm saying?
You might.
The logistics of it being feasible for public transportation of sorts doesn't seem realistic to me.
Right now, it doesn't.
Like Dubai, isn't Dubai already doing this?
Probably.
Don't they already do that?
Oh yeah, but they probably wipe with thousands, so it doesn't matter over there. But see, I think we're talking about it relative to Las Vegas, and it's not relative.
Relative to any regular city. And when I say regular city, I'm not going to talk about the San Frans. I'm not going to talk about metropolitan areas where buildings rule your view, period.
Yeah.
Regular city, Dallas, Fort Worth, Orlando, Florida, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Arizona. I'll even say LA just because it's so massively sprawled, and downtown LA is really just a blip on the radar.
But Seattle, like you said, San Jose, San Francisco, New York. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if Miami falls into that zone, but these guys, there's a lot of money out there. They would pay.
I'm just saying
that's what I think the market is for.
So are we looking at a consumer market, or are we looking at just an elite market?
Elite market.
Oh well, then fuck it.
If I had to guess, I'd say elite market. Like the odds of you or I flying on one
I don't
of these,
care, because it's like if a new Lamborghini comes out, I kind of don't care. I'm not. I'm gonna be save up till I'm 65 to get one.
But I think that's who this is geared for.
All right, I'm gonna cut this segment.
Good. Hey, you the one who brought it up.
I know. I'm angry. I just wanted to find a reason to. I was trying not to be angry, and that made me angry just now.
Good. I did.
Okay, so we're what are we, like 38 minutes in, 37 minutes in?
Yeah.
I just want to touch on this real quick. I've avoided DC movies a lot.
Yep.
And rightfully so. And I will argue. Oh, by the way, I got to tell you this. I got in trouble last week by wifey for me being confrontational about our differences in movies.
On what?
I'm not. According to wifey, I'm not allowed to press you or tell you that a movie was bad if you liked it.
Me or her?
Me, not supposed to tell you.
Me? Like,
yeah,
she listened to the podcast?
If you say, no, she didn't, but I was telling her, I was like, okay. Me and George are talking about, she's never listened to this podcast. She's not even going to know I'm talking about it right now. So, like, if you're like, yeah, I like that movie. I'm like, oh, that movie's shit. Well, how the hell could you like that movie? I'm not supposed to do
that. I don't care.
Right? So, I just want to let you know, George.
I don't care because
I'm going to try to take a more empathetic approach in my critique of our differences in movies.
I love that.
And that's a lie. I'm not going to. I'm still going to be the same jerk.
Good.
So I watched The Joker last night. Shout outs to my homeboy Anthony for, providing that for me. The movie was simply amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing for a couple of reasons, but if I really, on the surface, have to say, it makes every other DC movie look like trash.
100%. And I honestly didn't. I mean, I know the character is owned by DC, but I didn't know there was a DC collaboration because this is such a departure from Suicide Squad. I mean, you can't even...
Aquaman.
Yeah. Oh, my God, that movie was terrible.
It's awful.
But it went from, this is definitely not a kid's movie. This is a rated R movie.
And it's this movie. So I'm going to get... Here we go again, Greg. I'm going to get on my
soapbox.
Get on some of my nerdy bullshit. So when I was a kid, I was in the comic book store one day, and I saw Batman Dark Knight, Volume 2.
Yeah.
Frank Miller, writer and artist of a lot of comic and graphic novels and things like that, put together a 4-part series called The Dark Knight. And I remember picking up the cover. I picked up Volume 2 of The Dark Knight, and I flipped it open, and it was all black and white, except for there was red in there, and that was where blood was. Oh. There's a lot of red in this fucking comic, in this graphic novel. Yeah. So I was like, I gotta buy this, and I bought it, and then I bought 3, and I bought 4, and I could never get 1. I just could not get issue 1 of this series of the Batman Dark Knight. But later I bought a compendium, just one big book that had all 4 of them basically in it. But
yeah, I did that with the Death of Superman.
Right. So it still wasn't Volume 1.
Right.
And I only had 2, 3, and 4 separately.
Do you still have 2, 3, and 4?
No. That fell victim to those comics that when my mom moved, they got stolen by the moving company. I lost thousands of dollars. Anyways,
shedding a tear.
When they first started making, so we had the Batman series come out, and when was it? The 90s. With Arnold Schwarzenegger was like the freezing.
The Frozone.
I know. It's like think of this Frozone.
Mr. Freeze
is my super suit.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze, right? And Danny DeVito is the Penguin, etc. So those were cool for the time, but really they're pretty damn goofy if you watch them. So when they did the Batman reboot, they're like, oh, we're going to focus on the Dark Knight. I was like, oh, they're going to do this like the Frank Miller Dark Knight series?
How good was it?
I was like, this is going to be unbelievable.
Frank Miller, is that Sin City?
Yes. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Same, and the Sin City books are the same art
Yeah,
style.
I like that.
Okay.
I like the first one.
Exactly. So just gritty shit. And the Sin City really encapsulates that art style that Frank Miller had. Real heavy with like a pen nib and brush and ink.
Yeah.
That's how he did his stuff. So anyways, obviously, ultimately disappointed with pretty much any Batman movie since. And then, we get to the Christian Bale ones. We're like, oh, those are darker. Oh, they're,
Yeah.
No, and no. You watch this Joker movie. This Joker movie is what is it to me. This is the truth. If you married Joker and Sin City,
I agree with that.
That's what the Dark Knight should have been on the silver screen.
So here's what the rarest thing that will ever come in this podcast is I actually agree with everything you say about this movie.
This is rare.
This movie,
stars have aligned.
I've watched this movie 3 times now, and it's one of those. And I can tell you right now, I haven't seen Suicide Squad more than once. I definitely won't watch.
It's an abomination.
All the others. So we've already talked about how terrible those are. Each time I watch this movie, I catch another piece that I missed of the character building that goes into building to see how his mind is just unraveling as it goes through. It's really good. It's really good. And from a nerd, photography, lighting, cinematography. I don't know if that's really the way to describe it. The lighting and the views. I got to see some of the things that Todd Phillips posted, just still frames from the movie. And look, I've never been on a full movie set. Awesome. I mean, I had no idea that there were these massive crane setups just to catch a scene between him talking to his counselor. I mean, it was incredible.
Every scene in that movie meant something.
Oh yeah.
Right? There's no throwaway scene. There's no like, oh, it lagged in the middle.
Nope.
It built beautifully all the way to the end.
Yeah. It was great.
Even in that, during watching that movie, you're like, oh yeah, this is what's going to happen next. I feel like it doesn't ruin anything to the movie.
Awesome.
For example, his girlfriend, right? Alleged girlfriend. What's her name from Atlanta? Wifey was like, that's a figment of his imagination. And I was like, really? I was like, damn. And I watched it, and sure enough, but it didn't ruin it. I wasn't like, it's kind of fucked up. You ruined it. Like you blew the ending. I was like, he's going to go on the talk show. He's going to kill De Niro.
It had a little bit of a Fight Club.
And when he
Fight Club feel to it.
Right. That too. Exactly. Yeah. And when he killed De Niro, I still wasn't disappointed that it was, to me, telegraphed that he was going to do that. I think we all kind of knew that, or some of us did.
But to me, it didn't. When he went into that, I got the impression that he set out to kill himself.
Well, he kept
doing
that, and he was practicing.
But I think, like, the character of De Niro triggered him to the point where it's like, oh, you really fucking with me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And De Niro, how good was his role?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
It was Italian Johnny Carson, right? Like, it was amazing the way he did it.
Johnny Carsini.
And they just did an amazing job, like you said. And even it felt like the 1970s, the entire movie.
Yeah, I just watched it like 3 days ago.
I'm going to watch it. I want to apologize to DC for not going to see this in the theater because I hate all your other movies, with the exception of Watchmen. I loved Watchmen.
I didn't like Watchmen.
No, that's okay. So we had to disagree somewhere.
Yeah.
I did love Watchmen. I thought that was an amazing movie. Very long, very dragged out, but I thought the movie was done very well. And so I would say Watchmen, and now
I went to a luncheon. Joker. I went to a luncheon before the Joker came out. It's probably a week before it came out.
The Joker, or is it just Joker? I think it's just Joker now.
I think it's just Joker.
Yeah, it came out.
I went to a luncheon. It was something along the lines of like a Las Vegas anti-terrorism task force. Right before this movie came out. I remember
you talking about this now.
And there were heads of different industry. It was casinos were represented, and other. It was maybe 25 people in the room.
Right. I'm sure some of Metro's
And it was
anti-terrorism
yeah,
task force.
Metro was there, and then there's a trade show that's coming to town in May of this year that speaks. The organization that put on the luncheon was this place.
Okay.
And they were going over like, threats they see, threats they find, all this stuff. And one of the things they were warning people about was going to see Joker and just be aware, look around because of what happened with the idiot that when The Dark Knight came out.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure it was Dark Knight.
I think it was.
Part 2.
Yeah. Yep. The second one. Yep.
And this obviously mentally ill person went in and did what he did. You can read about it if you don't know what it is. But they were warning people that maybe they were about copycats, whatever. So I had text my sons like, "Hey, I'll go with you, but let's not go opening weekend."
Right.
And Todd Phillips has got to be like, "Oh, you idiots! Why are you ruining my my movie?"
Well, I saw.
It didn't hurt him at all.
I saw I'm sure not. I saw in the closing credits that one of my favorite actors of all time, Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
That was a joke, by sarcasm.
Yeah.
He's great as Rocky Raccoon, though. He's one of the producers
of the movie.
Yeah,
he's doing big things, man.
Yeah, I'm impressed. That was awesome.
Yeah,
good for him, man.
Yeah, he's doing some big things.
Hey, Bradley Cooper. Sorry, but I do love Rocky Raccoon and I like Joker.
Isn't it crazy how?
Do you think it's the same Bradley Cooper? Do you think it would be a coincidence? Maybe it's a different Bradley Cooper.
No, it's that big.
Okay, just checking.
I think it's funny because, in my opinion, the movie that launched Bradley Cooper's career, The Hangover, now Bradley Cooper comes back full circle and he's a producer on a Todd Phillips movie.
I've never even thought about that.
I think it's wild.
Never even thought about that.
That like he's come from.
So The Hangover launched his career?
I think it did. I can't tell you.
All I know is everybody was talking about Silver Linings Playbook, and I watched that movie, and it was a
Pretty sure that was after.
Yeah, it was after.
Yeah,
that's what I thought was kind of his pinnacle.
But I did like that movie.
Yeah, that movie. That's like,
see,
I'm good.
I like that movie. I love it. I can't believe that we actually agree on the Joker.
Wifey and I got into a deep conversation. Well, deep. That's you hear our conversations are right. Not. Anyways, we got into a conversation about actors with range, right? And Joaquin Phoenix is definitely at the top of that, right?
Yeah.
You think about the Joaquins, you think about the DiCaprios.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt to an extent. The problem
later Brad Pitt, of course.
Brad Pitt's problem is when every time you see Brad Pitt on the screen, you're like, that's Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
He has range, but you're like, that's Brad Pitt. Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise in every movie, right?
They're trying to make him into a badass, but yeah.
He's Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
But anyway, so we got into that discussion and, we really started talking about that. But it's just interesting because, you see somebody like Joaquin Phoenix who's just... Did you see You Were Never Really Here? Did you see that movie where he goes, it's about like human trafficking with girls and stuff?
Yeah.
It's a great fucking
movie. Is it? Yeah.
And I'm surprised you like the Joker, by the way, because our last conversation when I was yelling at you in here, you don't like movies that deal about death and things like that. And the Joker, there was nothing positive about that movie, right? But see, for me, like I like movies that don't end positively per se all the time.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think more from a creative standpoint of how the movie looked.
That was the hook.
The subject was dark,
right?
But man, if you do even on a very remedial level, if you're into photography or if you are into if you make videos or anything like that, you cannot avoid how beautiful this movie
I don't
looks.
think you even have to be into photography.
Yeah.
I think cinematography is something that is subconscious for a lot of people in terms of how they accept a movie, because obviously it's how you're going to perceive the vision, right?
Oh yeah.
So they might not be aware that it's really due to cinematography is why they might like a movie, but that's truly plays a huge role.
It was awesome. So,
in closing, I'm just going to say real quick that his laugh that he did.
Oh my God.
Because he his trigger is this laughing at things that aren't funny.
Right. And I thought that was such a great, I don't know if that's made up. I don't know if that's a real storyline of the Joker.
Me neither.
Man, is that when he's upset or when he's in pain, he laughs.
He laughs.
And then he has the card. Like when I grew up, I've had people like, what is it? Was it deaf people? Where they hand you the card.
That's exactly.
We'll take
the food court and they'd hand you the card and they want $1 or something.
And I saw that and I'm like, wow, that is a weird. But boy, it brings a whole nother dynamic to how
it's like you always saw the Joker laughing in the video game or in parts of the other Batman movies.
Well, Jack Nicholson.
Right. but this one put that background to it.
Yeah.
To where you're like, wow.
Yeah. It was but I don't know. It's awesome.
It's a great movie.
It was so good.
It's a great movie. I had to come in here and give DC, their praise while
Well,
it's
give
due here.
Todd Phillips' praise. I don't know about DC.
Todd Phillips. What else has Todd Phillips done?
The Hangovers?
Besides those movies didn't really do much for me.
I'd have to look it up.
And the Hangover and Joker are two, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would never put those two together side by side after watching them and be like, without having known that he did that.
No, it's definitely Joker, Hangover, War Dogs. Stars Born, which I thought Bradley Cooper. I thought Bradley Cooper had written and directed.
Who knows?
Stars Born.
Who knows? Maybe he was an assistant, or maybe he produced it. Whatever.
Yeah, he's got it. Did
you watch A Star Is Born?
Yeah, I liked it.
You like it?
I really liked that.
Yeah,
movie.
my wife liked that.
I didn't know that movie has been remade several times.
I can't bring myself to watch it because it's Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. So,
I actually couldn't stand Lady Gaga for years.
Still don't like
it. I'm not the poppy nightclub songs that she did when she first got popular. Right. I hated those songs.
Me too.
You know what changed it for me with her?
What? Howard Stern.
Howard Stern.
I saw that episode, and I have never have a problem admitting that somebody is an amazing talent and can sing, but I still don't like her music.
Oh well, I when I heard her on Howard Stern, I thought she was another one of these created people, because she was on an episode of Sopranos.
She created herself.
Like, she's been in industry. I mean, maybe she tried to be an actress or something.
She created herself though.
Yeah.
In terms, because when you see older videos of her, you're like, oh, she's a normal person. And then she started doing that over. Yeah. No, I'm talking about like when you saw her, like when she was playing the piano when she was young,
right?
And she just had that long brown hair, and then all of a sudden it became "Let Me Look Like."
Yeah, she needed something to stand out. I think that's what
goth crossover.
Every day she wore some goofy thing.
Electro, but that's not my music. Yeah, it was something really weird to her. So, all right, you know what, George?
Are we gonna talk about this coffee?
Let's shut down. We're almost at an hour here, and that segment usually doesn't go for 30 minutes, but we have a lot to say. We are going to talk about this coffee.
Week. We talk about where we got this coffee.
Wait, what? I'm trying to check out your spellings in here in the notes.
Oh, you mean where the region? Where this is from? Look, okay. I don't want to upset anybody in the 2020. No, there's some sensitive folks out there, so I'm going to go ahead and Greg, you can say the full name of the region.
Well, it just comes down to enunciation, right? It's Nicaragua.
Yep.
All right. La Laguna. I don't know what that means, but that's what it says.
I don't either.
Quick preface. My son just spent 2 weeks in Japan. Why? Because he just wanted to go and check it out. And at the age of 18, why not? That's when you should do all the fun shit. This bag comes from a roaster called Takamura.
Oh, okay. You do.
And, I don't even know. I wish I could understand like prefects and regions and all that in Japan, and I don't really understand it. But he says it's somewhere between Tokyo and
I found an internal card.
Oh,
I took the sleeve off of it.
There is indeed a card, yeah.
And it does have Japanese writing on it.
They're in Osaka.
For real.
It is a wine and coffee roasting shop. If you go to their website, which is takamuranet.com, they have this beautiful building. And they sell wine and they roast coffee, and it looks like a pretty awesome place. Now I don't know anything about it. I didn't go there. Again, my son was there on vacation, and he took it upon himself to go off the beaten path and go grab me a cup or a bag of coffee here.
Very cool, because again, we've now sipped a coffee that was roasted in London. Now we've sipped a coffee that's been roasted in Japan.
This is true.
We're international. Let the folks out there know that we're international, that we got, all these people out here getting us bags and bringing it back for us to bring to you. This varieties, Red Caturra, yeah,
Caturra, I think.
Pronunciation, it depends on what dialect you listen in. So yeah, this Nicaragua is a really good coffee. It won the award for Cup of Excellence.
They have these Cup of Excellence ratings on here, and
Yeah.
I'm a bit confused on their website. They have a listing, a bunch of numbers. But this is what, 17?
It says 17th. I don't know what that means.
Me neither. And I also somewhere I think saw that they hold an AeroPress coffee champion trophy.
I'm going to say that line award Cup of Excellence 17 is probably lost in translation when they printed.
Could be. I don't know.
It probably means the 17th annual Cup of Excellence award, like the 57th SAG Awards or whatever.
Well, they have a list of 1 through 22 on their website, 1 through 23 of these Cup of Excellence.
Oh.
And so I'm not too sure exactly what it means. Again, so stuff is being lost in translation here. But let's talk about this coffee. Let's talk about what we're seeing here. This is again, it's from Nicaragua, roasted in Japan. It has flavored tasting notes. It says of green apple, brown sugar, and orange.
Yep.
I get the green apple. It's the acidity that's up front for sure. And the brown sugar, I forget what it was a few episodes ago. We had another one that claimed a brown sugar, and I get that way in the aftertaste. And again, there's not truly a true sweetness as if sugar on the tongue, but there is a flavor of what brown sugar can hold for me in the that kind of that back end of the note about 4 or 5 seconds after tasting there.
Yep.
Orange, I'm not getting it, to be honest. When I hear orange, again, kind of like I forgot what it was we spoke about. I'm not. Sometimes you will taste orange, or sometimes you'll taste kind of just generic citrus. Yeah, and I don't have a hint of any of that.
Me either. Me either. The green apple, and like a darker brown sugar. I guess
brown sugar is kind of a stretch.
Yeah,
yeah.
But a darker.
It's like an earthy.
Yeah,
because brown sugar is like that molasses, right?
Yep.
In a way,
I'd agree with that. I definitely green apple though. Spot on.
100% there.
When it was warm and then cooling down, you probably get more brown sugar, but hot right out of the pour over, definitely green apple hits you right in the face.
And the acidity in this is really nice because it punches, and then you kind of get this ramping down, mellow out effect, and it doesn't hang in the mouth. That acidity is there. It brings a real bright note at the beginning. And it's not like it's a bitter acid that just hangs out. So I really like the acidity.
So you all about that mouthfeel?
Well, see, you tried to trap me into saying something off color and get me in trouble with our 2020 audience.
I was trying to get you to say something on color.
I'm not doing. See.
I cracked myself up.
I think you can buy this you can buy this online. Again, the website. They takes me to rakuten.co.jp. But you can purchase coffees online from this company. Cup of Excellence, Takamura Coffee Roasters. They have a whole selection, just like everybody else, right? So, hey, they're just like us here in America. You've got a lot of different regions, from a lot of different countries. And this bag in particular, I think, was $20. And I think that's an 8-ounce bag, if I'm not mistaken. So
right, this is a small bag, and
it is somewhat pricey.
That's what I was going to ask. So this is not your typical 15, 16-ounce bag. This is a half bag.
It's a half bag.
And curious what it was in was it yen?
The yen so the dollar is real strong against the yen. Okay. Right. So like I asked my son, he was there for 2 weeks. I go, how much money did you spend? Because I'm thinking 2 weeks. Just somewhere.
How much my money did you spend?
No, to be fair, it was his money, right? I didn't give him.
No, I love that. I love that.
He said $450. I was like,
for 2 weeks?
For 2 weeks.
Did he sleep on a park bench?
4 or 5 of them. They rented an Airbnb.
Wow.
And yeah, they had an Airbnb for 2 weeks out there, and they, rode trains and walked and did all that fun stuff and did $450. And I was like, you know what though? I go, when you're by yourself. So every time we go on vacation, when we go to breakfast, right? It's not just me having a cup of coffee and some scrambled eggs.
Right.
All 3 kids, it's $80 minimum.
Oh yeah.
Per meal. So it's a lot different when it's just you. You're 18. What are you doing? You're eating some ramen. You know what I'm saying? And then going and walking around and catching the sights.
God, I would love to go to Japan.
I would love to.
I'm crazy, Jeff. The fact that so the plane ticket is going to be double.
The plane ticket was double. It was about $1,000 for this round trip ticket.
And that's coach?
Yeah. That was coach. and it wasn't. He didn't have nonstops. He connected in Denver at first on the way there, and then connected in over in LA.
How many hours?
13 of them bitches.
Oof.
Yeah,
13 hours in coach.
That's a rough one.
13 hours.
I've got that coming up. In April? Going over to
Compton,
England.
Oh, were you going to England? You going to hang with somebody, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going with the Brit.
Oh man, I would love to go on that.
It's gonna be, bro. It's gonna be crazy.
April what?
I think it's the 17th, and you said you had something going on.
Yeah.
The Pearl's gonna be there too.
Oh, figures. You know what?
It's gonna be.
I don't like that. I don't like that the ratio's getting messed up.
Oh yeah, the ratio's all messed up. So sorry.
And there's no way I could go.
Yeah, well,
that sucks. Can you guys go in like the end of the third quarter, fourth quarter?
I'm sure we could.
I mean, I can go on that trip.
I'm sure we could.
I definitely couldn't go on that trip.
I'm sure we could. We can do that.
For real, you leaving on April 17th?
I think it is the 17th. It's something like that.
Pool opens on the 17th.
Well, George, some of us don't need to be poolside. We got a tan already.
Man, look, I got a ticket. I got draws left until January 22nd. I'm going to hit that lotto and I'm going. All
right.
If I hit, I'm going. I'll pay for the plane tickets.
All right, so we're gonna wrap the coffee segment. I'm sorry. Sorry, we had a 5-minute coffee segment and a 40-minute CES or a 1-hour CES, and
I think it's the how we were brought this coffee that is more important than the coffee. I mean, this thing has traveled miles just to come to us. And looking at the front of the bag for you video people out there, there's a sticker, and it is the Cup of Excellence 2017 award winner. Oh. So that's what it means by 17. That's why I thought I had to take the wrapper off.
Well, wait, they have like 23 and 22 listed on their website.
Well, this bag, I don't see any born on dating of when this roast took place.
Cup of Excellence winners.
Wouldn't that be some shit if this was roasted in 2017?
Alliance for Coffee. That would be terrible. Alliance for Coffee Excellence.org. This is where you look up Cup of Excellence, the premier coffee competition. Well, learned something today. Too bad I didn't bother to research it before we got in here.
Yeah, it's on the sticker.
Congrats again to Takamura and them. They're handling business over there. They've got some really beautiful things going on.
I like it. It is a good tasting coffee.
It's an awesome coffee.
Yeah, this is.
I don't know what the shipping would be.
You didn't say what he paid for the bag.
$20.
20. Wow.
20 for the 8-ounce bag.
Oof. That's up there. That's up with like what a geisha would cost us here in Vegas.
That's right up there with a geisha.
Oof.
Yes, 100% it is.
So that's crazy. It's probably that much because they have to import the beans from Nicaragua and then roast it in Japan. So it's got to be you're probably paying.
Well, we have to import beans too, right? We're not growing beans anywhere except for Northern California.
But are we closer to those regions?
Well, I don't know. Okay, well, we have Ethiopians that come over. There's the Yemen.
Ethiopians are expensive.
I'm looking to get a Yemen coffee here.
Oh,
that's tough to get.
Yemen,
and it's heralded as some of the best coffee in the world right now. So I'm looking to get some Yemeni. Is that Yemeni?
Sure.
Yamin?
Sure. Well, I'm the one that normally does the pronunciations around here, so that sounds right to me.
This is true. So I'm looking to hopefully get some of that. So I guess it just comes down to obviously port fees and all that fun stuff. And who knows? Maybe this was just a really expensive bean to get at the time. Does it say what farm on there it came from at all? On that bag or on the notes?
Yeah, actually it does. Luis Emilio Valladares.
Interesting. So we'll have to
look
up Luis Emilio and see what's going on. There it is.
Emilio.
Oh, El Naranjo. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I wish I could understand the Cup of Excellence. So for all you people that are actual true coffee professionals, maybe give us some hints about this. Otherwise, I'll do some reading.
I'm jealous of Point Six getting to go. He walked into the shop, like the roasting shop.
Yeah. Oh, so he told me, he's like, they were taking a train between, I forget where, and back to Tokyo, and his buddies were going one way, and he said, well, I got to go this way and get Pops a bag of coffee. So he took a different train
by himself.
Wow. He's walking around. He's like, yo, he goes, yeah, I felt like I wasn't supposed to be in this part of Japan. I said, well, what? I go, was it thugs? He goes, no. He goes, you're in Tokyo.
Like traditional type.
Yeah, he goes, like, you're in Tokyo. He goes, there's a lot, there's just places you go where there's more English signs than Japanese signs because it's a tourist hub. So and I was like, oh, I could see that. So
what was his phone like? He was using,
I'm sure
Google
Maps to
on
an
his phone?
extent. But he said, he goes, I walked in there to buy the coffee. And he goes, and the lady says something to me in Japanese. He goes, a lot of them could see that I was American. And when I would, they would try to speak to me in English to, a certain degree.
Did he download the Google app where you hold it?
I asked him, I said, did you use your phone to do that? And like even type into Google Translate to show? And he's like, no. He goes, she said something to me. And he goes, I just pointed to the bag.
Yeah.
He goes, she just rang it up. He goes, and I left.
The tools for talking and interacting is pretty crazy.
They're amazing now.
Yeah, so. I can put them. But that's awesome. I think it's great that he ventured out on his own. I mean, he's seen more of the world than I have. So.
Yeah, me too. So I'm stuck in this this horrible country.
Yeah, I love it. That's great. Sweet. We getting into that news.
Oh, look. People tell me every week. I look forward to the news.
Do they? No, they do. They do. 9 million.
I think the news is more for you and I.
With 9 million listeners, the news is captivating. Last week we talked about Gregor put me on to a new creamer, and
Let's not call it creamer.
Oh, sorry. What would you call that? An acid cutter?
That's a plant milk.
Okay.
What'd you say? An acid cutter?
An acid cutter. Because when you add any type of cream or whatever, you're trying to take some of the acidity.
Right, you're throwing fat in to buffer against bitterness or anything like that.
My fat additive, Greg put me onto
big bodied.
Big body,
full bodied.
This company, and I've only found it at Whole Foods so far, but it's called Oatly, and it's oat milk. Greg can probably speak more on the process and
no, I can't.
What it is? Okay, good.
I don't know what they're doing.
There's a barista version of this, and again, we did talk about this last week because I love it. It's way better than half and half. None of the byproducts of the lactose full half and halves. The taste is good. It doesn't over
power
lactate the coffee.
Over lactate. Gotcha.
Like we put half and half in, you change the entire look
and
feel the coffee.
And milk itself, there's an acidity to it. To me, I don't know.
What happens with this though, and I noticed it today, is it's not curdling, but when you mix it with the coffee, you can tell
particulate is in there for sure.
It doesn't mix perfectly with
and by the way, that's only in certain coffees have I seen it do that. Like I had 2 coffees, I can't remember, my brain's not worth shit, but when I would make one type of coffee and I put it in there, it would almost do like it was curdling because that coffee was more acidic than the other one that I used. So.
So started using this about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and they just came out with big news for Oatly, and I'm happy for them because I really like the product. But they struck a deal with Starbucks, so you will now be, and I can't wait to try this product. They're going to have and I wrote it in here, an oat milk honey latte.
Which, by the way, that's been my go-to drink for like the last year.
Oat milk honey latte?
I don't always get oat milk. Sometimes I do want a latte with true cow juice in it.
Yeah.
But I've been doing, like when I'll go somewhere, I'm like, hey, you got oat milk? They go, yeah, let me get oat milk in that latte with honey.
I've been doing the vanilla latte. Now I want to switch because I like to taste the honey.
Oh, I love honey. That's why I always get honey in my lattes instead of sugar.
This will be my new, when this comes to town, they're gonna roll it out to 1,300 Midwest locations. So we're not considered. Are we Midwest?
Are you fucking crazy?
We're West Coast. Yeah, we're not.
No.
So we're not going to.
You got to be. It's Colorado and West is the West Coast.
Why would they not roll this out on the West Coast? Because they've already had this in Europe.
I'm sure. Well, you know what? This is going to sound okay,
and it makes sense because
so to anybody in the Midwest, I'm going to apologize in advance because you do have good roasters everywhere now, right? Like a good roasting coffee shop isn't just going to be found in a San Francisco or in New York anymore. It's everywhere. And you have like Ruby in the Midwest, which is a big roaster based out of there. Yep. But I just want to go and say that they're probably doing it to expose it to a market that it hasn't been exposed to before to see how it tests with the people that want the cream and sugar style primarily, because they don't need to expose oat milk to San Francisco.
No.
Or LA or Miami or you know what I'm saying?
To convince, I see where you're going with this. To convince a Midwestern, the middle of America, to get away from
the meat and potatoes part of America, not the tuna ceviche.
I don't want that foo creamer in my coffee.
Alfalfa sprout part of America, exactly. Yeah. So they might be testing it in those areas first, just to see what walls they're going to encounter, because it's already going to. They know it's going to sell in the San Francisco market, in the Las Vegas market.
Please, as soon as this comes to a Starbucks near me, and
well, okay, hold on. You can get this latte anywhere right now. Go to Mothership. You go get an oat milk latte and have honey in it.
Oh, I guess I'll do that.
I'm just telling you.
I just don't have a Mothership down the street. I have a Starbucks down the street from my house.
Yeah, I'm not going to Starbucks for this.
I know.
Sorry.
And look,
you should apologize to the audience for saying that.
No, I'm not gonna.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not finna do it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you, George.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I kind of appreciate you. I appreciate half of you, Greg.
Oh.
I had to.
For those of you know that was racist. So
I had to. That's a shout out to Jody for telling Greg, JD Gaff, telling Greg that he can't disagree with my movie likes.
Here, drink the rest of that coffee, George.
I'm gonna
big ups to Oatly.
Yeah.
Small ups to Starbucks.
Yeah. That's you know what's awesome is Oatly is a Swedish company, and to pull off.
I didn't know that, by the way.
To pull off something like this, to actually get into the giant company that is Starbucks, to actually be offered along with, half.
Are we going to see oat shortages soon?
Probably. I didn't even think about that.
But it takes less water to grow oats than it does to grow almonds.
But what is there an almond milk company that they prefer, or is it just a generic?
Know. There's just almond milk in general. You have to. It's so much. It takes so much. What is it? They say it takes like 10 gallons of water per almond
to make almond milk.
To make an almond, just an almond.
Oh, no!
It takes 10 gallons of water to make one almond.
Well, for those out there, I do have an almond tree in my backyard.
Yeah, well, you're probably the reason why Lake Mead is so low on the water level.
I could surf.
How many almonds do you get off that tree? 4.
If I actually, cared and tried to harvest the almonds, I don't know, maybe 20, 30.
Let me get some almonds.
I'll see if I can't get
some of them raw almonds. Let me see if I can cook them joints up.
I will. I'll make an effort to get them off, because normally they just fall.
Of course.
But this year, I mean, it's
you got to
legit.
pay attention to when they're actually ready to pick instead of waiting until after they fall.
Right, because they are very green, and then they dry out, and then they fall. Those are ones that are ready to go. And look, I don't spray additives or anything on them, so I cracked that bad boy open.
But you are officially in Henderson, so your water table is probably just full of Pepcon.
No, I got that good.
It's got Pepcon and all that in it. Oh. I don't know if our listeners wanted to hear that, George. On to the next news item here, George.
Oh, it's great. So, obviously, going through my stash, I didn't find any coffee table books willing to reference on the show today. But a woman in Pennsylvania, and this is unbelievable, but it really did happen, because there's a video.
Is Pennsylvania going to get oat milk? Are they Midwest?
I think they're too far east.
They're right next to New York.
They would be mid-east, wouldn't they?
Okay.
So they're not going to get it, and I'm glad, because I don't think this woman deserves it.
Yeah, she don't deserve it.
She walks into a Burger King. She goes into the employee area behind the counter. She goes to the coffee machine. Okay. She pours herself a coffee. The manager confronts her. She self-served her own coffee. She walked back there, poured her own coffee. Manager says, "Ma'am, you cannot be in this area." And she's like, "I'm just getting some coffee." So he's like, "Okay, can you get your coffee and like go back to the front, and we'll ring you up."
Right.
She didn't pay for it. She said, "No, I'm not paying for it," and she walked out. So this is for real.
But how much is coffee at Burger King? 99 cents?
Gotta be. It cannot be. It's not $3.50 or anything like that. It's got to be really cheap. So she goes over there. Manager calls 911 saying, "Hey, we got this crazy woman came in, stole some coffee." She goes across the street to the convenience store, and 3 officers confront her.
3 for some coffee?
For some stolen coffee. They keep it real out in the Pennsylvania.
Did she write pig on the cup?
No.
Okay.
She didn't. So she's got this stolen cup of coffee in her hand. These 3 cops are saying, "Ma'am, you need to come with us." All this good stuff. And I'm paraphrasing because there's no audio in the footage that they show.
Right, but that's okay because it's playing out in my head.
Once they try to detain her, she actually throws the coffee in one of the cops' faces. And this is coffee.
Did he get burned?
It said it was the police chief or sheriff or whatever it was said that it was very like hot coffee.
Right.
He said scalding hot coffee, but it didn't say that he suffered 3rd-degree burns or anything.
Scalding hot, I think, means your skin peels off.
Yeah, he didn't say that his skin peeled off, but he was affected. He was hit in the face with a fresh cup of coffee. Nobody wants that shit.
Hot anything in the face.
Here's my issue, and this is why I thought this was the funniest thing in the world. Is this woman not only is on charges for theft, which is minor. We're not talking about grand larceny. This is $1 cup of coffee. She risked incarceration for a cup of Burger King coffee.
So let me ask you this. What if it was a cup of geisha? Was that worth risking?
I would give her a little more credit. Like if it was a really, they got that geisha that's like $700.
Right?
Is it $700 an ounce?
It's
some crazy amount. Like
it was nuts.
You're talking. You steal a cup of that coffee, and now you're talking about grand larceny.
Now you might be like, oh yeah, I don't want to face.
See what I'm saying? Larceny. Now you're over. What is it? $1,500.
Grand theft coffee.
Right.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're never going to get a chance to drink this coffee. So the only thing you can do is steal it. You go into the roaster shop. They got this coffee on deck. You pour yourself some, which is obviously a joke too, because they're not gonna do a drip machine roast of $700 an ounce coffee.
Right.
It's going to be some kind of pour over. So
the giant
you would have to steal
industrial bun coffee maker.
You would have to steal someone's pour over to actually taste this crazy expensive coffee.
How funny would it be to see somebody who, just has money to throw away, buy a lot of geisha. I just bit my tongue. A lot of geisha.
Yeah.
And then get it roasted. And then they just every day on Instagram, they just post them just throwing it into a regular coffee maker.
Like a ninja?
And pouring like carnation. Yeah. And just pouring like carnation creamer in it, vanilla flavored. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. That would be great. That was the ultimate FU. It's like, yeah, here's my $1,500 cup of coffee.
Yep.
I'm gonna put half and half in there.
No, not half and half, bro. Like Irish creamer.
Oh,
whatever. And then they take a sip and they just throw it down the drain.
French Nilla.
Just drain it every day.
Yuck.
French Nilla.
This last one's you. What do we got
one here?
Oh, I already know it's terrible. I see two phrases in here tells me this is terrible.
This is the ultimate. I want to say it's a hipster thing, right? Because remember. Okay, so growing up in high school, Pabst Blue Ribbon was the beer a lot of people would drink sometimes because it was just cheap.
It's like Keystone. Nobody had any money.
Yeah, it's just cheap shit. And then somehow in the 2004, 2005, Pabst had a resurgence.
PBR.
It was this.
They went on the brand of PBR.
Right, and it became this hipster thing to do in at a time when craft beer was showing up. Well, no, I drink this. This is an amazing beer.
No, it's not.
So now Pabst Blue Ribbon releases hard coffee in Massachusetts after success in Maine, which I don't know what that says for Maine or Massachusetts. And the stock of this is expected to be limited until summer. So Pabst Blue Ribbon, yes, has put out a hard coffee, a ready-to-drink iced coffee. PRB said, they got whoever wrote this did the initials wrong there. PBR said, contains naturally occurring in quotation marks. I'm not sure what they're trying to say there. Caffeine, and also has 5% ABV. This is a very short article, and probably rightfully so. But if you're in, let's see, Maine, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Florida, and Georgia, and now Massachusetts.
So this is Mideast.
Well, Florida's a different
East Coast.
It's a special kind of something. It's its own coast. The 4-pack of 11-ounce cans will cost you anywhere between $9.99 and $10.99. So, this article, sorry, it doesn't really tell you about anything in terms of what you can expect when you drink this. I would expect nothing.
Diarrhea?
Diarrhea. But there you go, guys. There's a Pabst Blue Ribbon hard coffee drink out there for you.
We do have, and it's probably going to wait till summertime, but I do have cans of, and I hate when they put hard in front of hard coffee, hard cider, hard seltzer. Just put, booze coffee or whatever. I mean, really call it what it is.
Because instead of a soft drink,
hard
it's
lemonade,
a hard drink,
hard iced tea.
Right? They're going against the soft drink word.
But there's a liquor coffee in there right now in a can. It is sugar in a can. I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all, and it is very sweet. It is also very delicious, and I believe it's between 12 and 14% alcohol.
I'm interested, honestly, in what this is going to taste like because I think I was about 7 drinks deep at your house.
Yeah.
Before I drank one of those and thought it was delicious.
Did you drink one at my house?
Yeah. Well, and then I stole 2 and brought them home.
Oh, for my birthday.
Yeah, I put them in wifey's purse.
T-Money.
I was like, take this to the house.
But did you try one sober?
I did. I didn't like it as much.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm glad we're on the same page there. You know who absolutely loves that drink?
Who?
My mother-in-law.
Oh, really?
Loves it.
Oh, shit.
Got any more of those?
I don't think her or your father-in-law spoke a word at the.
They did. A little bit.
Well, Pops did.
A little bit. Well, you know what? Everybody else was getting pretty faded. And I think even though they were staying over, along with one other person that slept on the stairs.
No comment.
I think they were just kind of chilling. And but I think you were having, because you were partaking in the wine.
I was talking to Pops for a minute.
You were having some of the ales that I picked up some different stuff, some Lagunitas, some Stone, and other good stuff that I know you and he loves. He loves that stuff. So does Adam too, but none of your shit what Adam likes.
Yeah, I get to go over there and talk, nerdy ale and IPA.
And then come to find out that you and Adam actually had a lifelong friend that either he worked with and then you knew. And,
it wasn't lifelong, but it was really weird. I was
like, you guys are like texting him like.
I was like, yeah, my buddy, Bruce so. He's like, right, Bruce, and then that was pretty. The world is small.
Mm-hmm.
So well, I have one last news article I am gonna.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's 13 things you can do with coffee besides drink it. Number 13, hand deodorizer.
Really? Yeah, I can see that.
Use the coffee grounds. And then number 12,
coffee grounds.
Number 12, face mask. You can scrub. Yeah, I told you. You take a little brown sugar, coffee, and olive oil, and you got a little exfoliating mask.
Mask off.
Works. Mask on. Fridge freshener. So I guess coffee effectively fights unpleasant smells in the refrigerator, just like it removes bad smells from your hands.
Can it be spent coffee grounds, or do you have to put
This says place a cup of leftover coffee in the refrigerator. It will absorb strong odors and your problem is solved.
Snap.
First of all, I don't be having leftover coffee at my house.
No.
So. Anti-cellulite remedy. All right. Now, wait a minute.
What
are we talking about? Apply to the effect. Mix leftover coffee with some coconut oil. I'm assuming coffee grounds or just coffee. Apply to the affected area and massage in circular motions for a couple of minutes and rinse with water. Now, don't they say you can just do a hard massage on, quote, cellulite areas? And what it does is it brings blood to the skin so it smooths out the dimpled area.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know if that's really a thing there.
I don't think it is either.
Flea removal. Due to its strong smell, coffee can be used as a do-it-yourself treatment to repel fleas and keep these unpleasant blood-sucking parasites away from your pet.
So you're going to pour coffee grounds on your dog?
Yeah, just let your dog roll around in some coffee grounds.
Hair treatment.
After you've given your dog a bath, rub it with leftover brewed coffee.
I'm going to call BS on the hair treatment on number 8 because those images are not taken from somebody that did a coffee wash. That's like some Neutrogena commercial.
Here's what you do, George. You brew some coffee. The amount should be enough to cover all of your hair. Then you let it cool and apply to your hair and massage the scalp. Again, we're talking about circular motion.
With coffee?
Well, you've cooled it.
Okay, so cold coffee. You're supposed to wash your hair with cold coffee?
Yep.
Nah.
Then you
You know
leave it
what?
in for 20 minutes and you rinse it, and you can use this do-it-yourself treatment once a week, George.
You know what? Is this Babylon Bee?
It's worse. It's I don't even know what this is. This website.
Oh, Toronto?
No.
Two.
TorontoNT.org.
But it's Toronto with TWO.
TWO.
I love that.
Toronto. Garden. We know this one. You can throw the coffee grounds into plants and all that. My grandma did this all the time. Cat repellent.
Oh, okay. I like this now. I like this. How do you scare cats away with coffee? I'll put this all over
just
my house.
leave some grounds mixed. Just leave some ground coffee mixed with citrus peels in the right places, and cats will avoid your garden.
I'm putting this shit all over my house.
Oh Jesus!
Get these cats out.
Exfoliator. Yeah. Duh. Come on. Air freshener. Okay. I've seen that. Like you just coffee ground. It's just like a potpourri thing. Okay, cool. Whatever. I'm good. I mean, my house, like, it already smells like coffee. We don't need to.
For real.
Furniture polish, it says.
Nice.
Instead of throwing your grounds away, let them cool. Use a cloth and rub over the surface of your favorite piece of wood furniture.
That's because it's coarse.
It's coarse and it's dark, so it's going to help stain it a little more.
Yeah.
This one's amazing. Decoration.
Sure. Wow. That's a reach.
Next one is cooking. I'm done.
I love it.
I just had to.
What an art. That was great.
But you did learn. Orange peels.
Yeah.
Coffee grounds. You'll never see a cat again.
I'm putting this everywhere. I'm taking it to work. I'm putting it all over my house.
Oh man.
Ooh, I'm taking it to my sister's house.
She got cats?
She has a cat.
Oh, snaps.
I'm gonna do that. See if it actually works. Like, oh, that cat hasn't come downstairs in like 3 weeks. I don't know why.
Because you got George walking around with coffee in his pocket.
Just leave a little like bowl of coffee and orange peels.
What if a cat comes over and just starts eating it?
Oh,
that's probably what's gonna happen. It's probably a cat attractor.
Well, you got some shout outs, Greg?
I do have a shout out. We know we got one major shout out right now. 0.6, my son. Thank you very much for the coffee today.
Thanks, 0.6.
This was a win. This was a hit. You knocked it out of the park here. It's a wonderful coffee. Thank you again. I can't thank you enough for. I'm gonna cry, as you would say.
Oh, snap!
No, I can't thank you enough for getting the coffee. I didn't even ask him to, for coffee. I didn't. He's like, hey, I got you some coffee. I was like, what?
Touring the jungles of Japan.
The jungles, indeed.
To get
the bamboo forests.
Yeah, and to travel all this way to bring.
You seen Kill Bill?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like that to go get coffee. I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's cut through the.
He's got a machete, and he's cutting down bamboo.
He's fighting the 5 deadly venoms.
Please.
100%.
Did he learn what is it?
Death touch?
Yeah, death touch.
Oh, of course.
Oh my God. Okay, he's got to come teach us that.
Yeah.
We need to get it on film. And then I'll go throw a shout out to Sarah from Elemental Beverage Company.
Oh, yes.
She's the one that hit 100%. Us up on the gram on this wide-reaching, super huge community that we have on Instagram. Very, very much thanks to one listening, reposting episode 30.
Absolutely.
And just overall just giving us a shout out. Like
exactly. I this goes to it's not just obviously because it's a coffee company, but we appreciate everybody that reaches out. Obviously we have a few regulars that are personal friends that will comment quite a bit on the show. My buddy Vince hit me the other day. He's like, why am I listening to your podcast while I'm working out? I was like, well, why are you listening to the podcast at all?
That's right.
I appreciate it, man. It's just nice to get any type of feedback. Well, honestly, just to know that A, somebody's listening, and B, it could be negative too. And if it's constructive, sure, I'll take that into account.
Fine. Please point out all of how we've gotten the movies wrong.
Please.
And I'm sure you will. Point out Greg's mistakes on The Mandalorian and anything Star Wars related. He loves that.
Already got that. Earl already came with that, right?
Oh, I know.
I appreciate you guys, attempting to, rock the boat and, pull the rug out from under me. But I stand strong, George.
And definitely, if you're a coffee roaster, if anything related, hit us up and you do not have to send us coffee. We will buy the coffee and review it.
Can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
People don't want to be on this podcast, George.
No, they don't. And it's not. I don't understand it. It's not controversial content. But
I don't know about that.
You think? Oh, I know Shoe Chuck will come back.
Hey, listen, HR will get people the fuck out of there on this book.
You know what? Things have changed since I would say even a year and a half ago. Like when we were was the Me Too thing already going on?
I'm sure.
Okay.
It's been a few years in that movement.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to do a Me Too segment because
I don't either.
I don't want to be perceived as somebody hating on anything.
No, I don't.
I'm beyond equal rights for everything. And I don't want to come across as like I'm a comedian because I'm not. That's being victimized.
No.
But what's going on though is there's definitely an era of sensitivity that's limiting. It's limiting people's ability to
be themselves.
Well, and look, people say a lot of dumb shit. I say dumb shit on this podcast, right?
But it's not recorded.
Well, when you hear the beeps, that's when you know I said some dumb shit. But I had the wherewithal, or we had the wherewithal to be like, yeah, we probably shouldn't put that on there. Because what happens is, I'll be honest with you, and I was actually thinking about this yesterday. When I come into this podcast, I can't keep it in the front of my mind when I'm talking with you that, okay, this is a podcast. 17 people are going to listen to it and hear it. I get lost in the conversation of it all.
17 million. He meant 17 million.
Oh, yeah, I meant 17 million. I get lost in the conversation of what's going on. I get lost in talking about the coffee, discussing those things.
Yeah.
So it's truly, I feel like I'm having a conversation with you.
Yeah, and that's why I have to avoid calling you during the week, or else we lose
we'll lose that
good stuff.
But what I'm saying is, I'm having a conversation with you, and I get to be myself, and I get to act like an asshole or say something stupid and say offensive things at times. But then again, I police myself later and say, all right, that's unacceptable. Or sometimes I truly do slip up and be like, I don't even know why I said that. This podcast has made me more self-aware than I've ever been. Listening back, I'm like, shit, I act like that, or I said that, or sometimes I'm shocked at the things I say. I'm shocked at the things I say that in a regular conversation that I've had over the past 40-something years of my life with people, I would never even recall having said a lot of things I've said. So it has made me more self-aware, and it has made me a little more maybe empathetic towards just how people could be affected by things other people say. Sure. I'm going to say that much. But again, now getting back to what we were just saying, fuck it. I love just being able to come in here, have a format where I can talk and put it out. And there's no, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Judgment?
It's not the judgment thing per se, but I have no agenda to say mean things about anybody, off-color remarks or anything like that.
Definitely.
This is just us in here having a good time and talking about coffee.
For real.
So apologies if I have offended anybody, but I don't think I have. That's why our audience is only 31 people a week.
Yeah, 31,000.
But I do appreciate everybody, all comments. I appreciate the downloads. Our weekly downloads are they're ramping up. And
we're climbing.
It's I don't know, man.
Consistency and content, I think, helps.
It's consistency, it's content, and also I think, George, it's just really it's just
once these two old folks figure out social media.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We'll probably get it.
You know what's funny is I don't think it's about figuring out social media sometimes
it's
too.
Posting more.
Right, because the formulas are out there. It's just actually doing it.
Dude, you would not believe how blown up my Instagram was this week just from posting all those stories on CES.
Oh, I bet.
I don't do selfies. Rarely. And I'm not on my stories every day. But I'm telling you right now, boy, those videos and the feedback I got, the getting hit up on Instagram from all the people like, oh my God, that's cool. What the hell is that? Like, just nonstop. We got to do that more.
Right.
We got to show these people out there the good and the bad.
Oh, what do you mean by these people?
Our
those
listeners.
People. Oh. No, but George,
hashtag our listeners.
That was me interrupting again, attempting to have bad humor. But you're absolutely right. Engagement is important and whatever, all that stuff. But I think just us as people, we enjoy seeing processes behind what we like.
And the majority of the people that I think we're looking at it probably didn't get to go this year.
Of course not.
So like, oh man.
I think I'll admit, I think you're, it's funny you say that. I have to backtrack now to having gone through your Instagram feed. I think it was yesterday I was flipping through your Instagram stories, and the window washing robot blew my mind.
It was so cool.
I watched it 3 times. I was like, is this thing crawling on the window? Why? So yes, there's value. There's importance to that. Yeah. I'm just talking and ranting right now, putting us at about, we're only at an hour 36.
That's it, man.
I thought we were crossing the
and
2 hour
funny
mark.
or not, but this is actually the longest episode in probably 5 episodes. 5 or 6.
You know, we don't purposefully make the episodes this long. They just tend to be around this.
There was a
hour
lot to
15
recap.
to hour
There was
30.
a lot to recap. I mean, CES, and plus I'm a gigantic nerd. CES was phenomenal for me. I love it.
It's fun. It is a fun show. I agree.
I'm really, really hoping I make my way into the SHOT Show. I'm looking forward to that. SHOT Show.
Like drinks?
No.
What? Photos?
Guns.
All right. That's it, guys. We'll catch you next week, episode 32. Thanks for listening.
Later.